Hey there, this is Derek from Pacific Coast Auto in Japan, and this is a Volkswagen Golf R. This one, a Mark 7 Golf R. The first generation of the R, but basically the third generation, if you count the R32s from the Mark 4 and Mark 5. Did the Mark 6 ever get a R32? I don't think so. And this one, 2014, or I guess it was called a 2015, but it was actually made in December 2014, has just 39,000 kilometers on it. We'll check the condition of the car. And this one we bought from auction in Japan. We're going to be sending it over to the UK, and it is in exquisite condition, like very close to a 10 out of 10. I love it. And having owned an R32 Golf in the past, and it being one of my favorite cars of all time, it was quite interesting for me to take a look at this car and compare it. You no longer get the 3.2 liter VR6 engine, which is such a peach of an engine. Instead, you get a 2 liter 4-cylinder engine that puts out more power than the R32 has ever had. But power is really not something that you're lacking in this car. It has 280/300 horsepower depending on the market. Sounds like Japan got the 280 horsepower version. And just took it for a little drive to see what it's like. Fantastic car. 300 horsepower, 4-wheel drive, hatchback body. It's cool. Very, very cool car, and it has a grown-up boy feeling to it when you drive it. It is fast and it's boy racer, but it feels more grown up than you would expect. Okay, so I'm going to close the hood here. I don't have much to say about the looks of the engine. It just looks like a modern engine. And coolant and oil both check out fine. The vehicle runs and drives perfectly. There's really nothing to mention about that. So I'll close the hood here, give you a quick look at it. And the Golf R has subtle cues to let you know that it's an R. You get bigger wheels, you get a more aggressive front bumper. Otherwise, it's fairly subtle. It's not like a STI with a giant wing on the back where the normal models didn't get the big wing. It's subtle and gentlemanly. That's why it's like a boy racer for an adult. Okay, so here's the auction sheet. This one is the one that actually came in the car, the one that we usually have here. Silly Derek forgot in the office. But look at this, the body, completely perfect, basically. This is an auction grade 4.5 with an interior B, and it is close to flawless. So 2014 Golf R. All the Golf Rs are 4-wheel drive, but kind of yes, kind of no. I'll get into more details in a second about that. 2000 cc. Sales points here, 39,490 kilometers. I think they're doing a testing for the emergency sounds. You hear that? Kind of weird, right? Okay, sales points. Black leather seats. They're quite nice seats. I like them a lot. And this is coming from someone who owned a Mark IV R32 that has some of my favorite seats of all time. What is this? Oh, geez, something I can't read. Cold weather package, maybe? With seat heaters, TV, reverse camera, front and rear sonar sensors, and smart key. Xenon headlights, owner's manual, Navi manual, and history papers from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times it had been repaired or inspected. Every 2 years you have to get the cars inspected here in Japan. And the report here from the inspector: seat wrinkled and steering wheel wear, underside surface rust, small scratches, small dents, and body pretty much perfect. So the condition of the paint, beautiful all the way around. Never any paint work has been done on it. And they're really basically no scratches, no dents anywhere. And so I'm not going to be able to point out any damage on it. So the video might be a little bit shorter than usual. I will say that oh, my plate's on there. Yep, was driving it with the plate. That's the original exhaust. I'll come back in a second. And about the 4-wheel drive. This uses a Haldex 4-wheel drive system. It was designed initially by Volvo, and what it is it's not like the Audi systems, although Audi does use it in the S3. It's a front-wheel drive system, and in this generation of it, which I believe is the 4th generation, it decouples the back completely, so it's just rotating wheels on the back until you need the 4-wheel drive. If it senses a slip, it changes it into 4-wheel drive, and this later model can torque vector front to rear up to 50%. Now, the reason why I call it a kind of four-wheel drive is, for one, it's basically a front-wheel drive until you need it, and then it switches on in a fraction of a second according to the marketing materials from Volkswagen. But if you have traction control on the car, I don't think you get four-wheel drive, because it has to sense the slipping before it turns it on. And I know that was the case in the Mark 4 that I had, and I think it's the case in the Mark 5. Maybe they've rectified that and allow you to have four-wheel drive when you have the traction control on, but I'm not too sure. Traction control, it is the enemy of having fun in a car. So if you look in here, you get oil cooler in the side there, and you look in this one, you get oil cooler in the side. So cool. Those big intakes are actually there for a reason. You get a subtle little R badge over here, but Volkswagen people know what to look for the R. And there's no denying this thing sounds very cool. It is 2 centimeters lower, has the bigger wheels. The quad tip exhaust is for stock from the factory, and it has a cool little diffuser thing. Have a look. It's like a, can you see through there? Right? You can see the ground through it. It's like a little mini wing on the underside. Volkswagen's not the only company to do that, but there are very few that actually do it. And I think that's very cool. I do wonder what the engineering is behind that. Is it functional? I suspect it would be, to get you a little bit more downforce. You know, a hatchback is not exactly the most downforcey shape. You get the darker taillights, which are a very nice look. 40 years Golf. That's cool. So Golf's been around for longer than I've been around. Hello. If you're a white guy in Japan, all of the children say hello to you, and then anyone who is over school age will no longer talk to you. Yeah, it's weird. Headlights, nice look to them. Of course, they have the LED, what would you call that, garnish? LED accents, and then a run of LED lights underneath there. Yeah, good looking car. And nothing to talk about for the exterior. It's all basically perfect. So we'll go to the interior now, and we'll start off with the trunk. And I've always loved the way that these trunks open. Volkswagen's been doing this for a while. I've always loved Volkswagens. We don't have our Lupo here today. It's off to the shop because the transmission blew. We've had bad luck with the transmission on that. But we also keep buying used transmissions, so. Okay. All pretty normal stuff. A space saver spare. Very clean in here. Those are old wipers and the original door mirrors. They changed the mirror lenses, not the mirrors, but they changed the lenses to a blue lens. And apparently that's supposed to stop glare when driving at night. I'm not sure how effective it actually is. Okay, the inside is pretty much the exact same as the Golf's been since the Mark IV up until now. Very similar body proportions. I will say that the chassis is a bit stiffer for this generation, and the suspension has a like comfort mode. It's like the magnetic suspension, I believe, where you can set it to different stiffnesses on the go. Maybe not magnetic, but I think it was just in regular mode. The suspension seemed fairly stiff. I'm still not too old to appreciate that stiff suspension, but I'm sure that it is a little bit too stiff for some people. Maybe the comfort mode would be good. Apparently it does make something of a difference. So you get a cup holder here in the center pillow. The leather inside smells good. Like, it's not BMW leather. It's not Mercedes leather. These cars all have a slightly different smell. The Volkswagen leather, I like the smell of it better than those other two. Not a ton of room in here. I just shot that fit over there that we might not get a focus on. Come on. Anyway, there it is. Much more room in the fit than in the Golf, which is a little bit weird. The seats here are fairly large. If you needed more space, you could cut it down by putting in a smaller semi-bucket into here, but those seats are so good that I'm not sure if you would want to. Back seats, decently firm. Look good. Looks like we have side airbags here. And a nice little, like a carbon fiber trim there. Speakers in the door there and there. And everything has a really nice look and feel to it. It's Oh, it isn't carbon fiber. It's just pretend carbon fiber, but it does look good. And carpeting inside here, kind of reminiscent of like older BMWs and Porsches. And my feet are stuck now. I don't know how I'm going to get out of here. Yeah, not too thrilled about the amount of space that you get in the rear on these. They're going to say hi to me. Hi, boys. Weldon. Weldon.
YouTuber の名前。
ああ、パシフィックコーストオートです。
パシフィックコースト。
違います。パシフィックコーストオート。
写真撮るよ。
今、このビデオは YouTube についてます。
ハロー。ハロー。ライブ？チャンネル登録。
ライブじゃない。バイバイ。I think we're receiving a car, but I didn't hear anything about that. That's weird. Okay, so interior here, really nice. And flat bottom steering wheel. Steering wheel says R on it. Has nice white stitching contrasted to the black leather is quite good. And it feels good while driving. It's not completely round. It's kind of pointy at the front and round at the back. And it just feels really great in your hand. The seats. They have an R in the back, pretty good bolstering, and they're firm, and they hold you nicely without feeling like you're being strangled by the seats. And I think that they suit the interior pretty well. Like the striping on here, or the stitching, is like kind of retro styled. The rest of it's fairly modern styled. Coming in, your gauges have a really nice illuminated blue on the needles, and I think it looks great. What a good looking set of gauges there. So of course everything works fine. The AC is good, the power steering is good, the brakes are good. It is a DSG transmission, so this is like a automatic / manual transmission. It's basically the same as is in the Lamborghinis. You just press this and it shifts in like a fraction of a second. It's like 0.08 of a second for shift times, because it's like already spinning up the next gear for you to use, and it just converts over to it. It's amazing. Driving in manual mode is a blast. It isn't a manual transmission, so it's not going to win any prizes for being my favorite transmission, but it is the next best thing. And I think a lot of people like that you can drive this in automatic mode or in manual mode if you want, but then it shifts more like an authentic sports car, and it is going to be faster because it can shift faster than humans can. Okay, pretty normal of the era screen, I would say. Nothing looks dated though. None of this is like laggy. That's just pressing the previous button. I'm expecting it to do something. It's attached to my phone actually. I was making sure that the Bluetooth worked and seeing if it has Apple CarPlay, which it doesn't. Apparently the later models do. It has USB in, an auxiliary in, and Bluetooth, and the menus have been changed over to English. Dashboard is all in excellent condition. You get a couple of cup holders behind this, and it feels like that is fairly sturdy for placing something on top of it. Electric e-brake feels weird to me still. I know all cars are kind of going this way, but it feels weird to me still. And it has auto hold, which is strange to have on an automatic transmission, but I guess the DSG doesn't have, it's not the exact same as an auto. Cigarette lighter is nothing. I guess just one of those. In here, there's a bunch of stuff like the keys and the other papers that came in it. This is nice and soft and cushy. And I like it a lot. Like, it makes me want to get one of these. The GTI, I think, is a great, great car. But I don't know if I would be sad that I didn't get the top of the line one. I don't really care for the four-wheel drive myself, honestly. But that engine is just so nice. I will say it doesn't win the award for best sound. That goes to any Golf with a VR6 in it. But it is pretty good. Pretty good, all things considered. Anyway, that's going to be the end of this video. I'm going to have to pick up looks like a Sumbar. But hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks so much for watching, and have a nice day.